Section 22 of English Synonyms and Antonyms. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Kate Mackenzie. English Synonyms and Antonyms by James Champlin Fernald. Difficult to dogmatic. Difficult. Synonyms: arduous, exhausting, hard, laborious, onerous, severe, toilsome, trying. Arduous, from the Latin arduus, steep, signifies primarily so steep and lofty as to be difficult of ascent, and hence applies to that which involves great and sustained exertion and ordinarily for a lofty aim. Great learning can only be won by arduous toil. Hard applies to anything that resists our endeavours as a scarcely penetrable mass resists our physical force. Anything is hard that involves tax and strain, whether of the physical or mental powers. Difficult is not used of that which merely taxes physical force. A deadlift is called hard rather than difficult. Breaking stone on the road would be called hard rather than difficult work. That is difficult which involves skill, sagacity, or address, with or without a considerable expenditure of physical force. A geometrical problem may be difficult to solve, a tangled skein to unravel, a mountain difficult to ascend. Hard may be active or passive. A thing may be hard to do or hard to bear. Arduous is always active. That which is laborious or toilsome simply requires the steady application of labour or toil till accomplished. Toilsome is the stronger word. That which is onerous, from the Latin onus, a burden, is mentally burdensome or oppressive. Responsibility may be onerous, even when it involves no special exertion. Antonyms: easy, facile, light, pleasant, slight, trifling, trivial. Direction. Synonyms: aim, bearing, course, inclination, tendency, way. The direction of an object is the line of motion or of vision toward it, or the line in which the object is moving, considered from our own actual or mental standpoint. Way, literally the road or path, comes naturally to mean the direction of the road or path. Conversationally, way is almost a perfect synonym of direction, as which way did he go, or in which direction. Bearing is the direction in which an object is seen with reference to another, and especially with reference to the points of the compass. Course is the direction of a moving object. Inclination, that toward which a stationary object leans. Tendency, the direction towards which anything stretches or reaches out. Tendency is stronger and more active than inclination. Compare, aim, care, order, oversight. Discern. Synonyms: behold, descry, discriminate, distinguish, observe, perceive, recognize, see. What we discern, we see apart from all other objects. What we discriminate, we judge apart. What we distinguish, we mark apart, or recognize by some special mark or manifest difference. We discriminate by real differences. We distinguish by outward signs. An officer is readily distinguished from a common soldier by his uniform. Objects may be dimly discerned at twilight, when yet we cannot clearly distinguish one from another. We descry, originally espy, what is difficult to discover. Compare, discover, look. Discover. Synonyms: ascertain, descry, detect, discern, disclose, expose, ferret out, find, find out, invent. Of human actions or character, detect is used, almost without exception, in a bad sense. Discover may be used in either the good or the bad sense, oftener in the good. He was detected in a fraud. Real merit is sure to be discovered. In scientific language, detect is used of delicate indications that appear in course of careful watching, as a slight fluttering of the pulse could be detected. We discover what has existed but has not been known to us. We invent combinations or arrangements not before in use. Columbus discovered America. Morse invented the electric telegraph. Find is the most general word for every means of coming to know what was not before certainly known. A man finds in the road some stranger's purse, or finds his own which he is searching for. The expert discovers or detects an error in an account. The auditor finds the account to be correct. Compare, discern. Antonyms: see synonyms for hide. Disease. Synonyms: affection, ailment, complaint, disorder, distemper, illness, indisposition, infirmity, malady, sickness, unhealthiness, unsoundness. Disease is the general term for any deviation from health. In a more limited sense, it denotes some definite morbid condition. Disorder and affection are rather partial and limited, as a nervous affection, a disorder of the digestive system. Sickness was generally used in English speech and literature till the close of the 18th century at least for every form of physical disorder, as abundantly appears in the English Bible. Jesus went about healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people. From Matthew chapter 4 verse 23. Elisha was fallen sick of his sickness whereof he died. From 2 Kings chapter 8 verse 14. There is now in England a tendency to restrict the words sick and sickness to nausea, or sickness at the stomach, and to hold ill and illness as the only proper words to use in a general sense. This distinction has received but a very limited acceptance in the United States, where sick and sickness have the earlier and wider usage. We speak of trifling ailments, a slight indisposition, a serious or a deadly disease, a slight or severe illness, a painful sickness. Complaint is a popular term which may be applied to any degree of ill health, slight or severe. Infirmity denotes a chronic or lingering weakness or disability, as blindness or lameness. Antonyms: health, robustness, soundness, strength, sturdiness, vigor. Disparage. Synonyms: belittle, carp at, decry, depreciate, derogate from, detract from, discredit, dishonor, lower, underestimate, underrate, undervalue. To decry is to cry down, in some noisy public or conspicuous manner. A witness or a statement is discredited. The currency is depreciated. A good name is dishonored by unworthy conduct. We underestimate in our own minds. We may underrate or undervalue in statement to others. These words are used, with few exceptions, of things such as qualities, merits, attainments, etc. To disparage is to belittle by damaging comparison or suggestion. It is used only of things. A man's achievements are disparaged, his motives depreciated, his professions discredited. He himself is calumniated, slandered, etc. Compare slander. Antonyms. See synonyms for praise. Displace. Synonyms: confuse, crowd out, derange, disarrange, disturb, jumble, mislay, misplace, remove, unsettle. Objects are displaced when moved out of the place they have occupied. They are misplaced when put into a place where they should not be. One may know where to find what he has misplaced. What he has mislaid he cannot locate. Antonyms: adjust, array, assort, classify, dispose, group, order, place, put in order, put in place, set in order, sort. Do. Synonyms: accomplish, achieve, actualize, bring about, bring to pass, carry out, carry through, commit, complete, consummate, discharge, effect, execute, finish, fulfill, perform, perpetrate, realize, transact, work out. Do is the one comprehensive word which includes this whole class. We may say of the least item of daily work, it is done, and of the grandest human achievement, well done. Finish and complete signify to bring to an end what was previously begun. There is frequently the difference in usage that finish is applied to the fine details and is superficial, while complete is comprehensive, being applied to the whole ideal, plan, and execution, as to finish a statue, to complete a scheme of philosophy. To discharge is to do what is given in charge, expected or required, as to discharge the duties of the office. To fulfill is to do or to be what has been promised, expected, hoped, or desired, as a son fulfills a father's hopes. Realize, effect, execute, and consummate all signify to embody in fact what was before in thought. One may realize that which he has done nothing to bring about. He may realize the dreams of youth by inheriting a fortune, but he cannot effect his early designs except by doing the utmost that is necessary to make them fact. Effect includes all that is done to accomplish the intent. Execute refers rather to the final steps. Consummate is limited quite sharply to the concluding act. An officer executes the law when he proceeds against its violators. A purchase is consummated when the money is paid and the property delivered. Execute refers more commonly to the commands of others. Effect and consummate to one's own designs, as the commander effected the capture of the fort, because his officers and men promptly executed his commands. Achieve, to do something worthy of achieve, signifies always to perform some great and generally some worthy exploit. Perform and accomplish both imply walking towards the end, but perform always allows a possibility of not attaining, while accomplish carries the thought of full completion. In Longfellow's lines, "Patience, accomplished thy labour," etc., perform could not be substituted without great loss. As between complete and accomplish, complete considers rather the thing as done, accomplish the whole process of doing it. Commit, as applied to actions, is used only of those that are bad, whether grave or trivial. Perpetrate is used chiefly of aggravated crimes, or, somewhat humorously, of blunders. A man may commit a sin, a trespass, or a murder, perpetrate an outrage or a felony. We finish a garment or a letter, complete an edifice of a life work, consummate a bargain or a crime, discharge a duty, effect a purpose, execute a command, fulfill a promise, perform our daily tasks, realize an ideal, accomplish a design, achieve a victory. Compare, transact, transaction. Antonyms: baffle, come short, defeat, destroy, fail, frustrate, mar, miscarry, miss, neglect, ruin, spoil. Docile. Synonyms: amenable, compliant, gentle, manageable, obedient, pliable, pliant, submissive, tame, teachable, tractable, yielding. One who is docile is easily taught. One who is tractable is easily led. One who is pliant is easily bent in any direction. Compliant represents one as inclined or persuaded to agreement with another's will. Compare duty. Antonyms: determined, dogged, firm, inflexible, intractable, obstinate, opinionated, resolute, self-willed, stubborn, willful, unyielding. Doctrine. Synonyms: article of belief, article of faith, belief, dogma, precept, principle, teaching, tenet. Doctrine primarily signifies that which is taught. Principle, the fundamental basis on which the teaching rests. A doctrine is reasoned out and may be defended by reasoning. A dogma rests on authority as of direct revelation, the decisions of the church, etc. A doctrine or dogma is a statement of some one item of belief. A creed is a summary of doctrines or dogmas. Dogma has commonly, at the present day, an offensive signification, as of a belief arrogantly asserted. Tenet is simply that which is held, and is applied to a single item of belief. It is a neutral word, neither approving nor condemning. We speak of the doctrines of our own church, of the tenets of others. A precept relates not to belief, but to conduct. Compare faith, law. Dogmatic. Synonyms: arrogant, authoritative, dictatorial, doctrinal, domineering, imperious, magisterial, opinionated, overbearing, positive, self-opinionated, systematic. Dogmatic is technically applied in a good sense to that which is formally enunciated by adequate authority. Doctrinal to that which is stated in the form of doctrine to be taught or defended. Dogmatic theology, also called dogmatics, gives definite propositions, which it holds to be delivered by authority. Systematic theology considers the same propositions in their logical connection and order as parts of a system. A doctrinal statement is less absolute in its claims than a dogmatic treatise, and may be more partial than the term systematic would imply. Outside of theology, dogmatic has generally an offensive sense. A dogmatic statement is one for which the author does not trouble himself to give a reason, either because of the strength of his convictions, or because of his contempt for those whom he addresses. Thus dogmatic is, in common use, allied with arrogant and kindred words. End of section 22. Recording by Kate Mackenzie.